I forgot to unmute my fellow co-hosts. Sorry about that, guys. It's one of those mornings, you know what I mean?
Good morning, Carly. How are you doing today?
Good morning. My Google Docs just closed on me, so I had to just figure this out as we go. But it's
Oh,
Wednesday, my dudes.
you know, it isn't a normal Wednesday without some sort of technical difficulties.
Oh, of
It's just part of
course.
our routine by now.
Of course. I wake up in the morning, I get some water, I take a shower sometimes.
Take showers in the morning.
Yeah, cuz like I'm
Wow.
sweaty. I'm always sweaty and it's annoying. But I just go over here and now and of course there's always something technical,
hmm
but just, I'm here. You know what I
I'm
mean?
here too. We made it through. We're here. All right. And I'm your co-host. I know I didn't say it, but my name is Sabrina Heisick. And then we got our newscaster who is currently drinking water.
Staying
Good
hydrated.
morning, everyone.
What's our newscast for today, Lewis?
You want to hear it?
I'm
I
ready.
don't know. Give me a sec. Like let me just I'm assuming that this is a pretty serious newscast, so I'm going to just lean back in my chair a little bit. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Good morning from 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. My name is Louis Biantalillo, and this is your 8:02 a.m. newscast. Governor Phil Murphy has added 3 new states to the 14-day isolation list. This brings the number of states that have been isolated for 2 weeks, if coming to New Jersey, to 38. This comes even after the Garden State's COVID numbers have been steadily increasing over the past 2 weeks. The 2020 election is only 20 days away. While today would have been the second presidential debate, President Donald Trump did not agree to a virtual debate, a direct result of him having COVID-19. At this time, pollsters say that Biden is up by 16 points, with 57% of those polled saying they would vote for him, whereas only 41% claim they will vote for President Trump. In weather, it is 47 degrees right now in Montclair. The high will be 70 before plummeting back down to the low 40s later tonight. Looking towards the weekend, Friday and Saturday are forecasted to be cold and rainy all day, whereas Sunday will have clear skies with a high of 62. Reporting from 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair on the Wednesday Morning Buzz, I am Louis Biantalillo, and back to you, Carly, in the studio.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. All right, we got our 2-minute warning with Campbell Donovan. Campbell, take it away.
Thank you, Carly. Now time for 2-minute warning here at the 803 Sportscast. In baseball last night, the Braves took 2-0 lead on the Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League Championship Series, stopping LA's ninth inning rally to win 8-7. And the Rays, yes, the Tampa Bay Rays, the defensive-minded, offensive-hitting Tampa Bay Rays of the AL East, are one win away from going to the World Series as they beat the Astros 5-2. In football last night, as the Titans came back after 16 days with positive COVID tests and facilities being shut down, they absolutely dominated the Buffalo Bills last night, 42-16. Many people saw Derrick Henry throw that stiff arm last night and got multiple touchdowns on SportsCenter, probably when they saw Scott Van Pelt be doing the highlights. And sadly for Jets fans, as a noticeable shocker came last night, they have released Pro Bowl running back Le'Veon Bell after weeks of wanting to trade the Pro Bowl running back, and they couldn't make a deal. They said just they're gonna let him be and let him go to another team. And Jets fans were not happy about that last night. A lot of people on social media did not like that. And the Giants have signed wide receiver Austin Mack to a deal and put him positively on the practice squad. Austin Mack, a former standout wide receiver at the Ohio State University, was the standout guy for the Buckeyes, and he will look to help the offensive woes in the receiving corps for the Giants, as the Giants are 0-5 after losing to the Dallas Cowboys this past Sunday. World-renowned soccer star who plays for Juventus in Serie A, and he's the all-time leader in goals for the Portuguese national team. The captain, Cristiano Ronaldo, has tested positive for the coronavirus only days after his squad faced the world champion France in the UEFA Nations qualifiers. And Florida the athletic program has postponed all football activities after the virus outbreak, only days after they were upset by the Aggies of Texas A&M. This has been your sportscast here on 90.3 WMC on the Wednesday edition of the Morning Buzz. Carly, we send you back to you in the studio.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Campbell. You just said Jets fans? Like, there are Jets fans? I don't know. I'm saying this as an Eagles fan, and I know that this may upset some. I don't know.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I said it. Are there any people that are fans of the Jets? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, yes, and it is a painful experience being a Jets fan, a Mets fan, and a Nets fan. All the Ets are disappointing, but we still hold true, and that's why we are the best fans in the world. It's because our team is terrible.
Wow. You're really gonna go with that, man. I mean, I'm saying this as a like, I support Philly sports. This is a personal thing. I support the Flyers. I support of course, the Eagles, the Phillies. I'm like, if you're saying like, those are not teams. Those are disappointments.
Wow, this is a heated
I'm s-
debate we got
Oh, I'm
going on over
sorry.
here.
I'm sorry. It's too early in the
I
morning. But
might have to brag upon him that, but I mean, Lewis, like you said, it's hard to be a New York sports fan with the Yankees out, and then you see the Jets and Giants do so poorly. But if you look at what the Philly teams have done, of course, the Phillies not making the playoffs the past 2 years, the Sixers supposedly wanting to go to an NBA Finals run, they get ousted by the Boston Celtics, and then the Eagles are just hanging by a thread on that worst division in all of the NFL, as I
Oh,
like to say.
are you serious, Campbell? I thought you were on my side.
I'm a
Think
Giants
Harley
fan.
was giving you a death stare there, Campbell. I'd watch out if I were
I
you.
was wearing a mask, and I was just
My
getting.
team's 0-5, so I can't complain. So
You know, Campbell, the only
At
way
least
to
Lewis, I'm interrupting you on purpose. At least the Eagles went to the Super Bowl in the past decade. I'm just saying.
the
I
only
have 4.
sports team that New Yorkers have to enjoy will hopefully come back. The New York Guardians as part of the XFL.
Yes.
So I'm rooting for The Rock Johnson to bring the XFL back, and we will one day have a winning team here in New York.
Are you sure about that?
They're the only team that's 2-0 playing at MetLife Stadium.
Yeah.
Just saying. The only team with a winning record that's now in the defunct and be rebuilt XFL.
Okay, all right, sure. Well, we'll go with that. Now let's get on to the actual news today. So Johnson & Johnson, one of the major pharmaceutical brands in the United States, has paused their vaccine trial due to an adverse reaction in a participant. The CFO of the company, Joseph Welk, said in an interview on CNBC's Squawk Box, quote, "We're letting safety protocol follow proper procedure here," unquote, he said, pointing out that the pause is not common. They are the fourth drug maker in that the Trump administration has put to the task of making a COVID-19 vaccine. There is no specific wording on who the participant is, if they had any pre-existing medical conditions, or if it was a placebo or a vaccine. This, of course, is going to be common, I assume, when it comes to the vaccine. I said this before on a previous episode, I don't think there's going to be a vaccine in time for anything. I really think it's going to take forever, and trying to rush it's going to harm people.
I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far to say it's it's going to take forever. I think it's eventually going to happen, but this furthermore proves the point of we need time to make a healthy and like a vaccine that's not going to come with any side effects, and we got to know that for like 100%, or at least if they do come with side effects, like we have to know what they are. So this is why we cannot rush this whole process. I think we're gonna find one eventually, but it's it's still gonna take some time. It unfortunately can't just like oh, I have my magic wand, like woo poo,
Yeah.
like here's the vaccine, everyone have it. Like it's a lot more of a tedious process than that. But I'm just glad that they recognize that like there was some type of illness with someone, and they stopped the process, and they're looking farther into it. So I think that's good in a way, that they're not still going through with it, that they're analyzing the situation and trying to fix the problem, which is good.
We also have to remember that they're not the only company that's making a COVID vaccine. Two other companies are Pfizer and BioNTech. They're developing the novel vaccines still with preclinical and clinical data at the forefront of all decision making. So we could see the same thing happen to those two companies, or we could see we could see an alternative reality where one of those vaccines actually work. And so far, Fauci has been sticking with a November opening, quote unquote, of a vaccine, where April will be where there are enough vaccines in the country that every single person will have access to one.
That is true, but like one of our fact checkers pointed out that experts and officials have voiced concerns that President Trump could put pressure on vaccine makers to put an unsafe or ineffective vaccine to market. And I totally agree with that because, like, obviously, if you have something with like a serious deadline, you're going to want to push it faster and you might not be able to check and see, hey, is this okay? Could this potentially be dangerous in a sense?
You
Yeah,
have to remember that this is being done by doctors, not President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump could put all the pressure on these doctors all they want, but until the doctors and the FDA approve said vaccine, nothing's going to happen. So it's either we trust doctors or we don't, and we have to pick that.
That is true, but I think I said this before on like the previous time when we were talking about the vaccine. There is multiple strains. It's not just one giant umbrella strain because like the way that coronavirus works is it's sort of like I don't want to say it is the common cold, but it is like much like the common cold. I don't think there's going to be a cure because there's different strains that infect people and impact people differently. And it's bizarre. It's like less than 24 hours later, also from our fact checker, Eli Lilly, which is another pharmaceutical company, stopped a study that was testing another product called Active 3. AstraZeneca paused their late stage trials last month. They started in Britain, Brazil, South Africa, India, and they've since resumed, but the US one is still on hold because of a review. Right now there's like a phase 3 trial for their vaccine for Johnson & Johnson, which has about 60,000 adults in multiple countries. And the whole thing is called Operation Warp Speed to support vaccine development. I don't think calling something warp speed would be a good idea, specifically because science is like a process that
it
doesn't
can't be rushed.
yeah, it doesn't net like a fast result. It's not like in like the movies where you have someone, combining this and that and this and that and like these little test tubes and all of a sudden poosh, it's the magic cure or whatever. It's a lot more complicated.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm glad that our fact checker Fred put this other information about all these other companies that are having issues with their trials and having to pause because this is like something that we can't rush. But I mean, it's crazy that when you see like Johnson & Johnson has had over 60,000 adults in multiple countries using this tested vaccine, which is crazy when you think that only like one person out of the 60,000, at least as of now, have had like a unexpected illness. That's like when you think about that though, it's kind of, I don't know, like it doesn't sound
real in a sense.
it doesn't sound bad. Like
yeah, that
one
is
out of
true.
60,000 people.
But
That's-
still, think about the like how I don't even remember how many people live in the world, and plus, again,
Like, wait, all right, I want to say, does anyone know the answers to this question? Because I'm pretty sure I know, but like, okay, Fred.
plus
How many people live in the world?
And a lot of false starts where they think they have something, but in reality, it's not what they're looking for. So really,
That's what I thought. I was gonna say 7 billion people. Okay. Thank you.
7
Almost
billion
8
people.
billion.
I can't do math. If you're gonna ask me to do math this early in the morning, you're going to be very disappointed. That's probably what I should have said to my math teacher when I took all these morning classes back in high school. So, yeah,
Oof.
yeah.
We can't get into those like bad days of taking algebra
Oh my
pre-calc in the
gosh,
morning.
no.
Nothing was as traumatic as my days in high school taking those classes early in the morning.
Yeah. But overall, just I don't think we're going to have a vaccine anytime soon. I think I like
You're really
be
set in stone
honest.
with you don't like, I don't know. I feel like you, me, and Lewis, we all have like very different opinions
I'm
on
a
this.
realist when it comes to this kind of thing. Like I
I mean,
don't
I
think
would
it's
say I'm a
going to
realist as well, but you're thinking like it's going to take a long, long time. I think it's not ready, obviously, yet, but I think in a few months, it's very possible we might have one.
I don't know. Again, I'm going to just wait until like science says it's safe, you know?
Well, yeah, for sure. No, I agree too, but I feel like we're getting very close. Like we're getting there. Lewis, what do you think?
I trust scientists, and if I trust the scientists to wear my mask and to social distance, I'm going to trust them on the vaccine as well. As soon as the vaccine comes out, it will not be approved by President Donald Trump. It will be approved by the scientists and the FDA. And the first day it comes out, inject me with whatever is in there, because I am sick of living this way.
You're sick.
You're
No pun
sick?
intended.
Oh my gosh.
You're sick of
I
living this.
mean,
Okay.
I don't
Go.
like living this way either, but at the same time, I don't want to like jeopardize other people's health and safety just because I want to go to somewhere without a mask on. You know what I
No,
mean?
I never said that. I
Yeah, I was
said,
gonna say, Carly, what do you?
yeah, I
Yeah.
never said that. I said that I am excited for a vaccine, and
Yeah.
once I get one, that'll be the difference where I can do other things.
That is true, but like at the same time, you got to think of, the possibilities because, like, people are going to think once I get the vaccine, once I get, the needle and everything, people are going to think, wow, I don't have to worry about this. Coronavirus, never heard of her. I'm going to just go out somewhere with my mask off and just go out somewhere. Because I feel like even if we
Yeah,
do get a vaccine, there's
Well, I mean,
still
isn't
going to
that the point? Like once
that
you
that's
get the
kind of where I'm
vaccine.
heading with that, Carly,
yeah.
because that's the whole point of a vaccine.
Yeah, Carly. If
I'm sorry, it's early in the morning.
So when I take the vaccine, if it works the way it's supposed to, I should be able to do everything that I would have regularly been doing.
Okay, I think the point I was trying to make was not everyone's going to get the vaccine, and if there is a vaccine, there still will be misinformation about it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
my one main
of
concern.
course there will be because people are dumb, but it's a vaccine tested by the scientists, and if one person out of the 60,000 got sick from something that could have not even been from the vaccine, and they stopped trials, I'm trusting it's safe because I don't know if it was me, one out of 60,000 people, I ain't stopping over that. That's not happening. So the fact that they are, I trust the scientists, and
But
I will be taking the vaccine.
the
all
other
right,
thing
guys.
is though, like we don't know if it was a placebo or if it was the actual thing. So it could have been someone had an allergic reaction to something else. We don't know. But
If it was the placebo, they would have not stopped the trials. If it
Yeah.
was the placebo, they would have marked it down and said, okay, this patient thinks that it is the vaccine, but now we're going to inform them that it's not. Now, okay, so say that we're in two groups. You have the placebo, I have the real one. If you get sick, it doesn't really matter because you got the fake one. That's it all in your head. If I get sick, that's the problem. So that would be my bet that it wasn't the placebo, but it is possible.
All right, guys. Moving on to our next story. So AMC, guys, is the largest cinema chain in the USA, and they just warned investors that they may run out of cash by early 2021.
what?
So AMC stock, which has a market value of over $400 million, has plunged 44% this year. They have reopened roughly 500 of their 600 US theaters, but only at a limited capacity of 20% to 40%.
Oh my
Like
god.
even in New York, like their guidelines have remained firmly against theaters reopening. As of last weekend, only 2 of New York's theaters, 300 locations were open, which this is also crazy. And like even like the films that were planned on being like released in theaters, there's only 4 more for the rest of the year for AMC. And they're I'm going to list them off if you guys want to know. So The Croods, New Age, Disney's Free Guy, Paramount Pictures, Coming to America, and Warner Brothers, Wonder Woman 1984. So those are like the only things that are planned to be set in theaters for the rest of 2020, which is crazy. And I'm honestly really sad about this because like obviously now like this is not the time for me personally to go to a theater. I'm not about going during a pandemic, but like once we do get this vaccine, I would love to go back to AMC. Like as a film major, that's like my second home. And I'm really sad that they could be going out of business for good. How do you guys feel about this?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with full disclosure right here, right now.
Oh God, Carly.
Okay, this is, I mean, I guess this could be considered positive for you, I guess, Sabrina, but so I actually went to the theater a couple times in the last few weeks, specifically because I too miss the theater. It's just the thing is we really as an industry like needed sort of a wake up call that like theaters should be in a sense like reevaluated as to whether or not it's going to be valuable in the next 5-10 years, because like obviously there was the consideration of streaming and of course people not watching it illegally and whatnot. It's just when I went to the theater, I get it because it's like I'm going during a pandemic and not a lot of people want to go to see a rerun of a movie. But when I went in there, it was like I was at my 16th birthday party. No one was there, completely empty. It was like if I were to drop a penny in there, the penny would have been louder than any of the films that they were playing. And there was one point where I was waiting because I went there obscenely early for some reason because I thought I was gonna miss the bus. And you know, like all those like weird like when you go to like an AMC movie, they have like the booming like "Thank you for choosing AMC," and like I heard that from a closed door 2 theaters down while I was just sitting to wait for the theater to open so I could see Empire Strikes Back. And I know that some theaters right now, in order to kind of like combat the possible, they want to try to stay afloat any way they can. And I know a lot of theaters are offering $5 tickets to old classics like Beetlejuice. I saw Beetlejuice for the first time in ever. Like I've never seen it before in like a theater for $5. I know that they're doing Hocus Pocus, Coco, Nightmare Before Christmas. I think they're going to be doing the 2018 reboot of Halloween and whatchamacallit, A Nightmare on Elm Street, like the original, specifically because they want to try to get people like, Sabrina, like to come back to the theaters and be like, hey, we missed you guys. Don't worry. We have plenty of new safety protocols that are new and exciting. Every theater seat gets cleaned before you come in. I mean, they're saying that as if, they weren't doing that before. I hope they were
They
doing
weren't.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. As someone with food allergies, last thing I want is like someone to like literally be like slapping peanut butter down on the seats and like no one cleaning that.
I guess
for
they
years.
could have been, Carly.
They could have been, but now they're
You
trying
know
to
what,
hype it up
Carly? This is the safest time you could ever go to the theater. Go now.
It is. That's what I was
going.
going to do. Like that's what I've been doing. But like literally, I discovered through math, like at a time of day where it's appropriate to do math, aka the afternoon when I'm actually awake. And I figured out that like it was way too expensive for me, a college student who's working a cheap job, like to like minimum wage pretty much to like go to the theaters every weekend and see a movie, which I feel is what they want to try to do in order to get people to come back. But I don't think they're going to be getting the audience of like film students eager to sit back in those seats and buy the popcorn and like watch the movie. It's a personal thing, I get it. It's just I know that one of the main reasons for this is like they don't want people to come in there sick because honestly, even with the $5 ticket, you still got to pay the extra taxes and fees. What about you guys? Like I don't know.
I have not been back to an indoor theater. I have been to several drive-through theaters though, which have been so much fun. And like I love how everything like comes back around and like that was like a big thing back in like the 80s. And now that like it's like kind of like a common thing now because of coronavirus. I think that's like the coolest thing. But like at the same time, the idea that like my local AMC that like I grew up going to might be going out of business, it's really sad. But I definitely like I I understand people's concerns right now. Apparently, like there was a weekly survey conducted by Morning Consult, and it said that 22% of customers feel uncomfortable. Oh no, sorry, only 22% of the customers feel comfortable returning to theaters, and I think that's a really fair statement because the coronavirus is an airborne disease, and when you go to some place that's an indoor facility that other people go into that who you don't necessarily know for sure are tested negative, it's a risk. I mean, if honestly, like if I really wanted to go, I would go. Like if one of my favorite, if I was back like in 2012 when the first Hunger Games movie came out or whenever it was, and
Wait,
like
they
and
came out in
and
20.
I wanted to go see the Hunger Games for the first time, like I would probably risk it to go to a theater. But like right now, there's nothing that I'm like dying to see, or they're just doing a lot of like reruns of like past movies and like movies that I've seen and like that I could literally just like watch like at home. So like I don't feel the drive to like go out there and risk myself for something that I could literally just do in my house right now. But
I mean, for me personally, like the two movies that I saw were Empire Strikes Back and Beetlejuice. And I did those because I haven't seen those movies at all, and I don't have anything like Disney Plus or whatever because I personally don't want to spend like $12 on a service I'll only use to watch two things.
oh, I
And
feel that. I just unsubscribed to my Disney Plus today too.
the only reason why I'm gonna watch Disney Plus is like for The Mandalorian, and and I won't even buy a subscription. I'll ask my boyfriend to pass me the password. Just my main thing is like for movie theaters, like attendance has declined like 85% and all that. I don't think theaters are going to be able to recover from this. And this is also something that they've been worrying about. Specifically, like you guys notice like all those theaters have the cool like, recliner seats with the heating, and now all of them are like unique and new where it's just like, hey, you guys want to order a steak dinner and like get it delivered to your seat? That's what some theaters are doing now, and I think it's because like they're so worried that people are going to avoid going to the theater. So I don't think they're gonna really get back on their feet from this. I think it's going to be more of a novelty than it is anything that we're gonna have permanently, you know?
I'm just worried that by the time they get a vaccine that's safe for everyone to have and where people finally feel comfortable going back to like their normal ways, um, I feel like it could be too late for AMC, and that's my biggest concern because like I like right now they're holding on by a string. Like they're doing
Yeah.
everything they can to try to get people back, but it's so hard when it's like they can't move this to be outside. I mean, maybe they can. It's just probably a lot of money. Or, I mean, if AMC could host their own like drive-through events, that would be pretty cool. Like I would definitely for sure go to that, and I'm sure a lot of people would too. But it's just like having that room and having that area. But like maybe take the AMC parking lot. Turn that into like a little drive-through. Give out your little snacks outside. Like it could be such a perfect night, and the weather's still okay. Like it's never too late.
I'm gonna say this as someone that has gone to many AMCs over however long I've been living. Usually, the AMCs that I've seen are attached to like a mall with already annoying parking spaces. I don't think people are gonna, even if it's like the option to see a new movie, I don't think people are gonna like put down top dollar to sit in a crowded parking lot while somebody's like honking the horn and they're stuck in traffic. And we know New Jersey traffic is the worst. Like we
Okay,
all
Carly, I don't
agree.
know why you're hating on drive-throughs here. And that's a
I
very
haven't been to one.
relative statement about the AMCs being attached to malls because like my AMC like it's near a mall, but it's like separate. Like it's its own complete building on the other side and it has this huge parking lot. And even like there's like a big field next to it with literally like grass everywhere that they could like people could come out and sit in front of a projector if they wanted to. So I disagree with your statement. I think they could totally do it. and drive-thrus are so much fun, and it's such a good and different experience. Lewis,
But-
don't give me that
Listen. There's a difference between sitting in your car with like, I don't know how drive-throughs. Do you have to like roll down your window or whatever?
No, not at
How
all.
does that
You
work?
put
Can
on
you
the
explain it to
radio
me?
station. They literally give you like a station number. You put on the radio station, or you have this little crank radio, and you listen to the sound as you watch the movie. You could keep your windows closed.
Okay, all I'm saying is like, if I'm sitting in my own car for like however long a movie runs, like 90 minutes to 2 hours or so, I don't know. There's a certain feeling that I get when I sit in a car compared to when I sit in a theater where I can my main thing is like you can't like easily like go like leave your car and like I don't know. I prefer sitting in a theater because at least I know, hey, this is where my seat is and I can escape from the fact that driving exists. I don't know.
Carly, I don't know why you're trying to fight me on theaters here, because like,
I am trying to.
but
'Cause,
like Carly, not for nothing. Like, I mean, I guess if you want to stick to your normal same routine schedule every single day, but like I'm one of those people, I like to try new stuff. And I feel like the drive-through experience is such a new, well, not new, it's actually a
it's
very
not
old
new
thing.
at all.
But it's like for me personally, like it was a new experience this year going to a drive-through event. And I think it's fun. And like I think honestly, like I guess it depends on your car, but like my car seats are really comfy. So like it totally like worked, and it's more personal because you could like talk to the person who you're sitting next to as you watch the movie, which you can't do at a normal AMC. And I don't know, I like it better. It's and like, yes, Lewis, he has a question or comment.
What is this? He's raising his hand like we're in school or something.
Carly, I have to say, you've had some really hot takes today.
Yeah, really, what's
Okay.
going on?
I don't think that I've agreed with you on one single thing we've talked about.
Listen, I'm saying this honest as a person that is that doesn't have a car, and the only person that I know with the car right now is like all the way like 20 minutes away. Personally, I've started to ride on bikes lately, so like I don't know if like but like can I bring my bike to a drive-through movie theater and like everyone's in their
Probably
car.
could.
People
I
are in their
can't see
car
them.
and they're being toasty and they're
They'll
warm.
take your money for sure. They'll take your
But
money.
meanwhile, I'm like sitting out here with like 5 layers on, standing on my bike, like with like a cheap radio from like the 50s or whatever, I don't know. I'm overthinking this a lot, but I just prefer that experience because
You know what, Carly? How about the three of us? Let's go to a drive-through movie theater, or
Okay.
the four of us, everyone on this call, so we can all
okay.
watch Carly have the real drive-through experience. Because
Just
apparently,
like you guys are just going to like you're not
he
even
only has a
gonna
bike.
just like stare at me and just be like, and
You'll be
my
like,
defense,
this is so much fun, and we'll be like, yeah,
I'd like
we
to try
told
it.
you.
I'd want to. Just like right now, I'm like I have work and all that, but I'd love to because personally, I haven't done that. And the one time I tried to go find a drive-in movie, it was booked for like months. Just I don't know. I just the reason being is because like I like a lot of my childhood, I never really got to go to the movies specifically because like my family was always busy, and of course it was very expensive and like only recently did I finally get into just like the thought of like going to a movie theater like by myself and just sitting down and watching it and just I don't know. It's a weird experience and I'm totally fine with it, but I'm also, you know what? I'll cuz you guys keep on being like, "Oh, you got to try new things. It's fun." I'd want to try it. It just like I'm so used to one specific mindset.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. All right. At least we've come to the conclusion that you do want to try it, so
Okay.
I don't hate you. All right,
Okay.
that's good.
Thank you.
All
It's
right,
good to
Carly.
know.
Why don't we move on to our next story?
Yeah, so a 15-year-old from Italy might be the next Catholic saint. Sorry, not saint. So Carlo Acutis, he was a computer genius who had died of leukemia in 2006 at the age of 15. He made a website that tracked Eucharistic miracles, which like is very important for the Catholic Church. And he was like he of course he died of leukemia and he has been beatified, which basically means a miracle has been made in his name. And if he becomes a saint, if he becomes canonized in the Catholic Church, he might be the youngest contemporary person to achieve sainthood, which I think is interesting. I'm not very religious, but honestly, it's fascinating because, like, I don't know if this is like the first time in years that this has happened. I don't know.
Well, I
It-
do believe
it's
you-
definitely big news in the Catholic Church whenever somebody is in the process of becoming a saint. It's not so rare that it doesn't happen for years, but it's always big news. And the reason that this is such big news is because he's a 15-year-old kid, and he will be, if he becomes a saint, he will be dubbed, I believe they called it the saint of the internet. Or this it's just funny. I think it's funny because when I think of saints, I'm a Catholic, still practicing. And when I think of a saint, I think of these people from the 1400s, the 1500s, the 1600s, or even earlier than that. And just to think of a 15-year-old kid that used to just, it was a regular kid and he wore sweatpants and jeans and stayed in front of his TV all day long because he wanted to play the next video game and things like that. I just think it's cool. I think it's funny.
I think it's interesting because, like you said, you'd be the saint of the internet.
Yeah, the patron saint of the internet. Like the Catholics have saints for every single
That
thing.
is true.
Like there's a saint of the goofballs, for example.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a saint of the goofballs. That's Saint Paul.
Oh,
But
dope.
Saint Paul's also the saint of blah, this, and that. It's just, double
Mhm.
dipping over there.
And the whole point of like why like he's getting this that like he's becoming a saint is because like guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I just read about this right before the show, but about how actually like on the internet he was able to connect a bunch of people to all these miracles and like all these things happen that were crazy. I was reading about a few of them. Can anyone expand on this? Because Lewis, did you read it? Carly? Did you read
Like,
about the miracles?
I didn't quite read about them, but knowing how, like, it's especially important because, like, he like his time using the internet was like before like modern age technology, like search, there were search engines, but like the internet in like the 90s and 80s was like this weird like sort of wild west, and the fact that he was able to like make his own website and get people to like interested in the Catholic Church with his website, that's fascinating for me.
All
I'm,
right.
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm going to read straight from the New York Times, and I quote. So, Mr. Acutis, who's his father, said that people from all over the world have told her about medical miracles, including cures for infertility and cancer, that happened after they prayed to her son. In February, Pope Francis attributed to the unexplained healing of a boy with a malformed pancreas to Carlo after his child came in contact with one of his shirts. So, end quote. So basically, like all these crazy things have happened
Just because
when people have thought about this boy, Carlo, um, which is so amazing.
it is
Like
amazing.
I am religious, but I'm not like super religious. I honestly sometimes think I have my own religion because I believe like mixed things that don't necessarily go together, but the thought that just this one
Yeah.
boy has all this influence and all this power, and he probably never even really realized it, is such an amazing thing.
It
Like I'm one of those people, like I will always kind of believe in like magic per se, and like I do believe in religion and God, and the fact that like this stuff actually happens sometimes, or well, I believe it actually happens. I think that's so crazy.
Yeah. I have no words, honestly. But
So I'd like to move on to a different topic, if that's okay.
yeah.
Because I don't want to forget to mention this. But first of all, you're listening to WMSC's Morning Buzz, and through WMSC, we have this awesome thing every year called the WMSC Excellence in Radio Scholarship and Training Fund. This donation, this scholarship is purely made through donations. We get almost no funding for this scholarship, and the point of it is to reward students for all of the work that they do throughout the year. And there is tons of work that gets put into putting this show together. If you would like to be a part of this fund, you can go to wmscradio.com, and then you can click donate, which is the top button all the way to the right. So far, we have 31% of our goal with only 17 days left in our goal. You could choose to make whatever donation you'd like. And it's literally any amount of money. You could choose to make a gift of $20 in honor of the number of student directors on staff. Make a gift in honor of the 45 plus disc jockeys on air at WMSC for $45. If you want to donate $90.3, you could do that in honor of our station. A gift of $125 can cover the cost of a vital conference and training for one student, such as the College Broadcasters Incorporated Conference and an award and music master training in 2021. And $500, if you feel so inclined, sends an unlimited group of WMSE students to the Intercollegiate Broadcasting Systems Conference and Awards in New York City, when it's safe, of course. So if you have any way, if you enjoy the Morning Buzz, if you enjoy WMSC and everything we have to offer, this fund allows us to keep doing what we're doing and reward the students that put forth good work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lewis. All right, well, we're gonna move on to our next story, guys, because we got some really interesting stories today. But thank you for that, Lewis. So, here we go. So, guys, apparently this one place in New Jersey, and actually Hackensack, ranked number 2 on the Daily Meals Best Burgers in America list. So this place is called the Sliders at White Manna. These are these burgers that apparently ranked number 2, which is crazy. The website uses the word juicy when describing the famous sliders, and they're usually topped with onion and cheese and served on a Martin's potato roll. And they're often served with pickles and chips. People first got a taste of the white manna at the 1939 World's Fair Before the winning burgers settled down in Hackensack in 1946. And in 2015, White Manna's Burger was named the number 17 best burger in America, which is pretty impressive. And I personally have never had these burgers before. I don't know if any of you guys have, but I'm like happy to see that, Jersey is definitely holding on strong with our food. I feel like that's one of the best parts about New Jersey. Campbell's raising his hand.
Yeah, to bring upon that, I mean, I've had it, but I've been past White Manor before. Of course, it's a staple in this state. Of course, North Jersey and Hackensack being in Bergen County, of course, and it's just a staple. And many people across around the state or even near the tri-state area, they want to come to White Manor to try their burgers and what they have to offer. It's really like one of those top places. And if you ever seen Food Insider, their YouTube channel, they went to 5 places in New Jersey, and White Manor was one of them, as they tried food from the state. So it's one of those highly I can't put into words. There's like gratitudinal places in our state where like it's the place to be and the place to go, like to check off your bucket list.
Mm-hmm. Well, Campbell, let me ask you this: do you feel as if that was the best burger you've ever had?
I can't say because I haven't never had it before. So.
Oh, okay. I thought you had been there before.
No.
Okay,
but
you've heard of it.
But I've heard of it. I've heard a bunch of stories, but
okay.
It's a good place.
Okay. I'm feeling like we should all take we could have, oh my God, guys, we could have such a fun day. We could all go to this burger place, and we could go to a drive-through movie. Like, what a fun bonding, like, morning buzz event.
Mm-hmm. But what if you consider the morning buzz if we're going in the afternoon or something? Like I've been to White Manna before. Like it's
Oh,
pretty
you have?
good. Yeah, I was like a kid though, so it's been a while since I've been there.
Mm.
Also, this is very unrelated, but Stevie Nicks just joined TikTok, and I am excited.
Okay. Yeah, no, that
She just
definitely
joined
was.
TikTok, and she just like in like that trending thing where it's like the guy like on the skateboard drinking the cranberry juice and singing "Along to Dreams" by Fleetwood Mac. She's just like she put on roller skates and like put on like a turntable, like not even like putting it in the video. I don't
That
know,
was
but
definitely like the most unrelated like thing
I'm
we could start
excited.
talking
I
about.
love Stevie Nicks.
No, I love Stevie Nicks too, but we were talking about burgers.
Okay, I'm sorry. I felt it necessary because it's breaking news for me. I don't know about you guys, but it's breaking news for me. But I've
Mhm.
been to White Manna. Like, it honestly, it tastes for me. It reminds me a lot more of like a cheesesteak than it does like a burger. I'm saying this like on the taste, the presentation. It looks like a slider, but as someone that like has my dad's from Philly, like it tasted a lot more like a cheesesteak than it did a burger. So I don't know. I'll have to go back there after like sometime. I don't know.
What's your go-to burger place?
It's a good question. There's like a place right over by my hometown called Rock and Ronnie's, which is pretty good.
Mm.
It's like a musical themed sort of like restaurant, which I think is really cool.
Do they have like live music there?
Yeah,
That's actually so, I like that. That's so cute.
my little brother is like they know my little brother by name there. It's actually kind of sweet.
It's so cool. What about you guys?
Hmm?
No comment?
No
Your
comment.
favorite burger joint
I
or
guess
burger?
I'll go. I mean, since Louis doesn't want to talk about it, but
Yeah, Lewis has no opinion on this. Can't believe this.
nah. But I think my spot would be because quote unquote the Colonial Diner in my town. I love to like brag about my diners in my town, but there's one specific diner in my town that's a staple for in Southern Bergen County. It's the Colonial Diner, and their food is amazing, but their burgers are just so good. It's like the 1950s themed diner and stuff. It's just like kids from all towns just go there after school or in the mornings and stuff, and get a nice breakfast sandwich or probably get a burger. That's just great.
I love how you like describe the diner too, like as like you said, like a 19 like 50s or 70s like type diner. And I love that feeling that like some of these like restaurants in your hometowns like give you. Like I love diners and oh my gosh, I really feel like I'm
Do
like
you
an
like
80s
drive-ins
kid
and
at heart.
dives?
What?
You said you like diners, but do you like drive-ins and dives?
Of course.
Of course, gotta get the Guy Fieri trifecta right there.
My favorite burger place is in New York City, and it is called Black Tap.
I've been there for my birthday.
They have amazing burgers, if not a little expensive. But what makes their burgers so good is when you have one of their signature milkshakes along with it, which is
Yeah.
also
Oh, but I feel like this is kind of a cheat here. Are you really going for the burgers or the milkshakes, Louis?
okay. Hold on. But for those of you who are watching us, look at this combination. You got the burgers here, and you got the like marron. Like this is good eats here.
Mangiamo.
Yeah, exactly, Campbell. Exactly.
Like I've been
But
to
honestly, like
It's
after you have that burger, do you actually have like that huge burger? How
and the
much room
milkshake,
do you
yes.
have in your stomach to have that milkshake?
A lot. I
Sabrina,
remember specifically I had that when I was like, I don't know.
I feel like at that point I would only go for the milkshake.
Sabrina, I am a big boy. I can eat. And right now, I see that our host Carly is using a Zoom background of Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. You know that
Yeah.
he had a restaurant on campus, right?
Yes.
Oh wait, okay. I don't think Sabrina or Campbell know about this. So I think it was like back in the early 2010s, like Guy Fieri was trying to expand his brand to like, campuses because he just has like big restaurants and I've never been to a Guy Fieri restaurant, so don't at me. But he decided I'm going to open one up and you're never gonna guess where it is. Like it's in Blanton. You know the Chili's? That's where Guy
That's where
Fieri.
it was.
Yeah. From what I read from like a satire website for Montclair, there was like a Guy Fieri cutout, like a cardboard cutout, and I think they replaced it sometime in 2015. They're like, I'll have to get the fact checker on this one because I don't quite remember when they got rid of it. But I do know actually Guy Fieri is connected to White Manna. He did go there on diners, drive-ins, and dives. That I remember specifically because they have like a huge wall of just like all the places, like all the people and all that who visited there.
Wow.
See? The more you know.
Yeah. All right, Carly, why don't we start up our last story so we could
All
get
right.
this interesting one
Yeah,
in.
we got to get this image up. So, an 11-year-old boy goes on a joyride on a school bus. So this happened in Louisiana. This boy had hijacked a school bus. No one was in it besides him, and he was arrested on Sunday in Baton Rouge. As he was driving away, the kid flipped off the officers. They gave chase, and the kid crashed into a tree and also had crashed into a couple of cars. There were no injuries. The kid is fine, but he was arrested on charges of theft of a vehicle, aggravated flight, damage to property, aggravated assault, all these things. And I don't quite know if like there's a detailed explanation as to how he got into that car, not car, the bus. But either way, whoo boy.
I'm
That
just impressed that the 11-year-old kid knew how to drive the bus.
I mean,
Like, and the fact that he actually stayed on the street and he was actually like going fast, like he like there, I'm gonna pull up a video in a second, but it literally looks like he like knows where he's going, like he's like on a route, which is crazy. Wait, can I just pull up the video before we
yeah, go
discuss
right
about
ahead.
this? All right, cool.
So on in this video, we see a
Look,
school bus
do you
like
see how fast
tearing
he's
behind
going?
him with police giving
And
chase.
all those police cars.
A parade of police cars, if you will. This is from a dash cam. Well, I mean, someone's on TikTok and they're recording this at a stoplight, wherein it's like what looks to be more than like 15 police cars trailing after this one bus that's going over the speed limit, which I think is insane. I don't I don't know how that kid reached the pedals though. That's the one thing. Maybe I don't know. Either way, there are plenty of ways to learn how to drive before that. Like people like those like arcade games where like you put in the money or whatever and you pretend to drive. Maybe that could be where the kid had that experience, but that was 45 minutes. Just 45 minutes of this school bus barreling down the street being chased by cop cars. That's insane. Like that kid's
Yeah.
never going to get a license ever.
I don't know, like I know this obviously is not a good story, but in a way I'm like low-key impressed that this kid could actually drive a bus and that he actually had the nerve to like go for it. Cause like, like sometimes you think about things, but you're like, oh, like I'll never actually do that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I've never thought like, oh, like I should go hijack the bus. But like I remember as a kid thinking like, wow, like I wonder if I'd ever be able to like drive a bus. Like, wow, like I wish like I could drive a bus. Like I remember like thinking like that, like, that'd be so cool. But for this kid to actually go out and execute it, and how the flipping heck did he get onto the bus? And why was there no bus driver like monitoring the bus? And like maybe, you know what I'm thinking? Because I remember in elementary school, sometimes the bus drivers would park and like then they'd go get out of the bus and like talk to like their other bus driver friends. Maybe like the bus driver left it there and the kid saw the keys and was like, all right, bye, and like literally left. But I just wonder, like, what was going on inside his head, like, as he was doing this. Like, was it regret? Was it, like, excitement? Was it, like, I'm finally free? You know, like, I would love to sit down and interview this kid just to know what was going
What
on
was
inside his
going
head.
on? Yeah. Speaking of regret and excitement, today is the PSAT for high school students. The practice SAT, which is like,
All the memes.
oh my god, yeah. Like right now, like it's like trending on Twitter, and also they just announced this. They're doing for the presidential debate. There isn't going to be one. They're going to be doing separate town halls with President Trump on NBC and Joe Biden. Like different events on the same time slot, which I think is bizarre, honestly. They should have just done the normal debate, but I guess they couldn't, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I mean, considering the president has COVID, I don't blame them for not wanting to have a normal debate.
True.
At least now. Like, if I was Biden or any of the people, I wouldn't want to be in a
In a
big
room.
room with someone who we know is positive.
It just I don't know if it's going to be virtual or not. It's just
No,
been
the
announced.
virtual one got canceled. Trump doesn't want to do one virtual because he doesn't believe it's, I don't know, it's like a true debate.
Mm-hmm. From what it says, like they're doing it in Miami with Trump. Like, hold on, it's an outdoor event hosted by Savannah Guthrie. It's going to be on Thursday, same time that Biden is doing his town hall on ABC. They're supposed to have like the debate on the same day, this Thursday, but because of course, like we mentioned before, it was held virtually, Trump refused.
Hmm.
So honestly, this is going to be weird because people are going to like it's either going to be ABC or NBC. There's like it's going to be difficult to get both candidates' opinions like having that debate each other, you know?
Yeah,
I
we'll see
don't
what
know.
happens.
Yeah. We'll definitely see what happens with this.
So, Lewis, Campbell, do you guys have any thoughts on the 11-year-old taking over the bus?
Well, I think when you said how he get to the pedal, I think he did the old get a rope tie and the plank and put his foot up against the top of that plank and tied it with the rope tie, and he probably put the brake probably put the gas on it and then sped up. Probably he looked like he booked 90 plus on that crossroad, and you saw a few cop cars chase behind him. But that's pretty I would say pretty smart, I guess. Not many people would know how to do that, and
Yeah, right? Like,
wise, it's like that's a big no.
I mean, okay, I'm gonna be honest. What 11-year-old's going to Home Depot to get like a plank of wood and rope? Like I don't know. I think
okay, I think you guys are like underestimating how big 11-year-olds are. Because when I was 11, I peaked at my height. I was 5'3", and I have not grown since when I was 11 years old. So it's very possible that he could definitely like reach the pedals. I mean, he could have been shorter, obviously, but
I
like
was 4
it's
foot
also
something
possible
at
he
that
could have been
age.
like taller. That was like the best time of my life because I was taller than everyone else, and then it just went downhill from there.
I was always the shortest in my class. It was the worst.
Oh, that
That's why I
stinks.
always wear like giant like shoes.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm like wearing like sneakers because I have to take care of an event after this.
Mhm.
So like, I don't know. Maybe this is just my perspective of being a short. I don't know how tall I am right now. I'm probably going to have to like find a tape measure after this. But either way, how that kid will has done that is a mystery. I don't think we'll ever find out.
Maybe we will. I think there might be more news on this because this is very, very exciting.
It is exciting, but who knows? And you're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this pretty much wraps up the Wednesday edition of the Morning Buzz. I'm Carly.
I'm Sabrina.
I'm
Thank-
Lewis.
And I'm Campbell.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a spectacular day as I try to reach for the mouse. All right. 3, 2, 1. Bye.